Sure, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning, Excellencies, representatives from ISA member countries, all the stakeholders who are joining us from across the globe, and my dear colleagues. I welcome you all to the 33rd ISA SunMeet. We sincerely hope that you all are keeping well during these very testing times. Thank you for joining us and encouraging us to keep moving forward to achieve our common goals. Excellencies, as you already know, the topic of today's SunMeet is solar hybridization of diesel gensets. For today's SunMeet, we have invited experts from private sector who will reflect on important issues like synchronization, energy storage, energy efficiency, and output with respect to solarization of diesel gensets. The emphasis would be on demonstrating the technologies available in the market and their advantages for the ISA member countries. We sincerely hope you will enjoy today's discussion. Your feedback is of utmost importance to us. We request you all to kindly share with us your inputs through email after the event is over. Just for the information of our esteemed guests, the event is being live streamed on YouTube, and the presentations being made during the event will be uploaded on ISA website soon after the event is over. We request all the speakers to kindly adhere to their given time slots so the representatives from our member countries and our guests can listen to each one of you comfortably and objectively. Without taking any further, I would now request my senior colleague, Mr. Rajiv Gyani, Additional Director, RE, International Solar Alliance, to please welcome the participants and all the dignitaries present in the meeting and set the context for today's SunMeet. Over to Gyani, sir, please.
Thank you very much, Megha. Good morning, Excellencies from the diplomatic missions of ISA countries based in India. Excellencies who are connected directly from ISA countries globally. Respected national focal points of ISA countries, ladies and gentlemen, and my colleagues from ISA. It is my immense pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of International Solar Alliance Secretariat in this 33rd SunMeet. We hope all of you are and your family are healthy and safe at this particular time of pandemic. Excellencies, the journey of SunMeet has almost covered 3 years now. And in this SunMeet, we have with us His Excellency Dr. Ajay Mathur, our new Director General of ISA. A hearty welcome to you, sir. We have dedicated a particular theme for each of the SunMeet. And this SunMeet is has the theme of solar hybridization of diesel genset as narrated by Megha. Let me tell you, His Excellency Dr. Ajay Mathur has initiated this theme so that this noble cause, this particular message can support ISA countries where diesel gensets are the source of power generation, especially for island countries, not only in urban area, rural area, even for individual buildings. I know you are much aware about the solar technology, but let me again refresh that the solar is the only technology which can be customized with respect to our demand, from milliwatt to gigawatt to terawatt. There is no other technology which can compete with solar in this customization. Now, this particular theme, we have 3-4 experts representing their companies who are already dealing with this type of cases globally and in their respective countries. These companies not only have products, but they have a big experience in this particular theme. And this is not the limited companies or limited experience which they are sharing in this particular SunMeet. There are many more which we haven't reached. Now, our target is to reach all ISA countries to capture all these types of stakeholders so that all the LDCs and CIS countries especially can get benefit of this type of concept. So through the initiation of our new Director General, we are exploring this new thought as a product to ISA countries so that the solar footprints can increase even when there is power generation with EV cells. So I won't take much time. Now I welcome you all again and give the floor to Megha for further deliberation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gyani sir. I now request Director General International Solar Alliance, His Excellency Dr. Ajay Mathur, to present his remarks to the August gathering. Over to DG sir, please.
Thank you, Megha. Colleagues, both from the various ISA member countries, whether from the diplomatic missions in Delhi or from capitals, as well as the technical experts and speakers who are speaking today. As has been discussed, we are focusing on the solar hybridization of diesel gensets. In the last month that I have interacted with many of you, it has become startlingly clear that in all our member countries, the procurement of diesel is a problem. It is a costly affair and limits the availability of electricity to all citizens. On the other hand, solar provides a huge opportunity, both in terms of the local availability of resources, sunlight, as well as in terms of the costs, because we expect that solar costs would be less than diesel costs. It is with that view in mind that today's SunMeet focuses on the opportunities that the hybridization of diesel gensets with solar presents an opportunity. If you ask me, I would like that not tomorrow, but today, we are able to provide solar gensets off the shelf, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt, just as we have diesel gensets. So there can be a one-to-one replacement of diesel gensets by solar gensets. I don't think that the day is technically far when we will be able to do this. I also don't think that the day is economically far when the cost of electricity from pure solar plus batteries will be less than the cost of electricity from diesel gensets. In my view, both of those things have already occurred. But what is important is business models that can make this happen. Because one of the things that we are learning is that a solar genset, solar plus batteries, its first cost is more than that of a diesel genset. But then its operating costs are very near zero, whereas in a diesel genset, we have to keep buying the diesel to keep it running, and diesel, as you know, is expensive. Consequently, this challenge of changing the equation from being operational cost heavy to being capital cost heavy is not an easy thing. One of the things that is coming across, and maybe we will focus on this some other day, are business models in which there are entrepreneurs who supply services. In this case, they would supply electricity. They own the solar genset. They invest in acquiring it, but then they provide the electricity and charge a certain amount of money per kilowatt hour of electricity that they sell. So then we move from the model which is based on the procurement of the gensets to a model which is based on the sale of electricity. So it's much more performance-based than being equipment-based, which is the way we would like to go, because at the end of the day, in all our countries, we would like to see people get the electricity services that they need and deserve. As we move today, I would very much like to focus on the kinds of advances that have already occurred so that the cost of diesel can be minimized while hybridizing it with solar. So at least during sunlight hours, we can see that the electricity is met by solar, and it's only during non-sunlight hours that we look at it being met by diesel gensets. And possibly as time goes by, we will find what is the amount of battery storage that we should have so that during the day when the solar electricity is being generated, then all that is not used is stored in batteries and used at night. So then we wouldn't have a need for diesel at all. But I don't want to stand anymore between you and our very powerful presenters who have all had, as has been said, experiences in providing this kind of electricity. And I hope that their experience would help us all to move ahead in the many, many applications we have in our countries where diesel gensets are being used, and either replace them or at least partially substitute the use of diesel.
I would now like to invite Mr. Dinesh Kaul, CEO of Control Electric Company Private Limited, to make a presentation on maximum output from solar hybrid solutions. Control Electric Company Private Limited are the manufacturer, supplier, trader, exporter, and service providers for a wide range of optimum quality control panels and automation systems. They cater to a huge clientele across the world. They export products in Middle East, North America, Australia, New Zealand, and Indian subcontinent. Over to Mr. Dinesh Kaul, please.
Thank you, Dr. Megha. And I congratulate ISA for the fine job it is doing, spreading this information. And I'm very, very passionate about this whole DG, PV, synchronizing, hybridization, because as Dr. Mathur of ISA very clearly said, the technology is already available. And all we need is the business models. And I am so amazed that it is not growing as fast as it should, because we are absolutely at a time, as has been proven by Mr. Mayuk, Mr. Arya, Mr. Ajay, that the technology is already there. We really don't need to doubt it. It has been proven worldwide. It has been proven in India. And there are amazing stories of saving and how we are saving our environment. So I am not going to devote much time into technical. I am going to devote more time on the business end, the utilization, and why do we need it and how does it make more of an economic sense? And it sure does. Before that, I would just like to introduce us. We are a company which is about 25 years old. We are into electrical, automation, and solar. Solar division we started in 2014. And we are operating in India, Malaysia, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Philippines. And we have done multiple jobs in African region also. We are a value-added distributor of Schneider Solar. And Schneider is a company which is about $27 billion worth of a company. 5% is dedicated to R&D, and the new economies constitute about 41%. So they are a very good partner for us for bringing these technologies to the end client. So let's just review, why do we need hybrid? First of all is you need power, and you need uninterrupted quality power at all the times. So that is why there is no way that you cannot go in, you should not go in for hybrid. You just have to go in for hybrid. Now, battery-driven systems have two different options. You can have a hybrid system, you can have an off-grid system. But I'm not going to take time to describe about off-grid, because off-grid is actually wasting generated power if the load is not there to consume it. So we will talk primarily about hybrid. If you look at the power, the DISCOM power, State Electricity Board power, is approximately $0.13 per kilowatt hour. Diesel generators, taking all parameters into consideration, is about 22 rupees, and a hybrid solar power plant will give you about 12 rupees per unit, 0.16 kilowatt hour in dollars. So the case is so clearly biased towards the hybrid. I really am amazed that more and more people are not taking it up. Actually, it is growing at an amazing path, but only for past couple of years now, people have started recognizing that it makes a lot of economic sense. Obviously, there is a sense of saving the environment, saving the earth, saving our future. Sure, all that is there. But eventually, when people evaluate a technology, they look into what is the economics. And I'm saying that it's an excellent return on the money invested. Solar is, and even hybrid is. It is better than bank FDs, it is better than mutual fund, any kind of investment that you look into. Solar hybrid makes economic sense. So let's go into it. So I'm not going into too much of technical here because Mayuk, Aryaji and Ajayji have already explained what a standard hybrid solar power plant looks like and what are its components. And it's a very established, proven technology. So we will not devote much time. But in the examples I will give in the rest of the slides will be where the generator is 50 kilowatt, solar is 50 kilowatt, and grid is 50 kilowatt, and the load is also 50 kilowatt. That will make it easier to understand. So what some of the issues that people face in hybrid solar power plant are batteries not getting fully charged, not suitable for surge load. And we also need to understand the dynamics that there are multiple type of hybrid solar power plants. There is not a unique single hybrid solar power plant. So you can have an AC coupling, you can have a DC coupling, you can have an AC and DC coupling. And I will, in the coming slides, explain what are the advantages of each. And the beauty of these systems is that they can be synchronized totally with the existing electrical infra. So if you have a grid and you have a DG, you can easily synchronize a hybrid solar power plant with it. If you have an on-grid solar power plant, you just need to add some components and it's on. It'll start working. That is the beauty of it. So the whole process is, to be design optimization is around which whole of the process will go. So on the left, I'm showing the basic architecture, which has been shown by other colleagues also, other speakers also. But all I'm emphasizing here, that retrofitting with existing is totally possible. So whatever your existing system is, you can just add, if you look at the extreme right, you'll see new system, hybrid inverter and battery. You can absolutely do it and it will go with your infra of diesel, grid, whatever. It is just not a problem anymore technologically. So you have, as I was talking about, AC coupled systems are generally, a hybrid solar power plant with AC coupled are generally used where day loads are there. There's more of day load and less of night loads. So you can synchronize with existing on-grid solar power plants that you have. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to rewire. You don't need to dismantle anything. Just install it and it will synchronize, and it is fully automatic. No operators, no maintenance people. Nobody is going to have to, work on it day in and day out and switch it on and switch it off. Everything is automatic. That is the beauty of the technology. We are already there. The future is here. For DC coupled system are preferred for night loads. So even if you don't want to synchronize with your existing plant, you can still have DC coupled system. And you can have a AC DC coupled system, which takes care of your mixed loads, which are some are running at night, some are running at day. So it is possible. And if you look at the economic parameter of return on investment on a DC coupled system can be as low as 6.1 years and 5.9 for an AC coupled system. This calculation has been done on the basis of a 50 kilowatt DG and a 50 kilowatt DC coupled or AC coupled system. So we are looking at return of investment in 6 years approximately. I don't think any other investment gives you that kind of return on your money. So I absolutely recommend to my clients that go ahead, install it. Your money is safe. Banks can fail, mutual funds can crash, FDs can get lost, but this is something that is under your control, not under a third-party agency. So it's a very, very good way of saving money for any organization, for any company. So another reason for installing these hybrid solar power plants is that you can use it for peak shaving. So while there is a lot of graphs and technical, but essentially what I'll say is if you have a 50 kilowatt load, which sometimes during the day goes to, let's say, 60 kilowatt. So what would you have to do? You would have to buy a new DG, you would have to, install a bigger transformer. But no, don't do that. Don't invest more money there. Invest into a hybrid solar power plant. And if you invest in that, the extra 10 kilowatt, which your load is demanding for a short period, will come easily from your battery load for that particular time. So that is what is called as peak shaving. And if you can see at the center, they have demonstrated that this is, peak shaving. When the peak load was there, it has come from, not from your generator, not from your bigger transformer. So no new investments. That is the beauty of peak shaving. Then you can do an MDI control. You can be penalized. State electricity boards penalize you if you ask for more power from them than what you have contracted. So MDI is maximum demand indicator. So you can avoid this whole thing, this penalty, by whenever there is a peak, maximum peak is there, then you supply power from the battery. So that is another economic reason for going into this. And third reason is time of the day. Now already in India and many of the countries, you have these different tariffs during different time of the day. So what you can do is you can charge your battery when the tariff is low, and when the tariff is low, you can charge your battery, and when the tariff is high, you can use your battery power to run the load. So these are three more economic reasons why you should invest into a hybrid solar power plant. Another very, very important reason is that DGs are not very efficient, whereas hybrid solar power plants are extremely efficient as compared to DG, of course. Now, what if you could improve the efficiency of your DG? So when the load is low, for example, when the load is, let's say 20%, so then your efficiency of the output is only 20% approximately DG. So what you do is that time you start charging your battery, move your DG to 80% efficiency. And this is going to be done automatically. It is going to be programmed once and then it is done forever. So you can improve the efficiency by which you are running your DG by charging your battery when the load is low and not charging the battery when the load is already high. So if the efficiency, as Mr. Arya knows, if the efficiency of DG, for example, is best at about 80% of the load, then we will maintain that 80% loading with the help of battery. So that is another reason how you can increase the efficiency, overall efficiency of your electrical and power generation systems. Now, if you look at battery, I think my other speakers have very clearly shown how the battery is charged, what are the various conditions. It can be charged by grid, it can be charged by DG, it can be charged by PV. There are multiple options. But let me just talk briefly about the chemistry of the battery. So there are multiple chemistry. You have flow batteries, aluminum ion, lithium metal, nickel cadmium, solar sulfur, and there are too many of them to really list here. But primarily what is being used is lithium ion and lead acid. I'm not talking much about lead acid. It is proven. It is it's not very costly, and it is easily replaced. So all of that is there. So the new age battery is lithium ion currently. So we were just talking about peak shaving and MDI control. Now, both of these require a quick discharge of battery. And how do we do that? If not with lead acid battery, because lead acid discharge rate is C/10. You can only discharge it's over its full capacity in 10 hours, which is slow. But a lithium ion battery, you can actually charge it or discharge it very, very fast. So making it ideal chemistry of battery for peak shaving and MDI control. So that is another economic sense. Now, if you have a space constraint, like in a bank or an ATM, So you want your batteries to be hidden away and to be small, not occupying your floor space. So you go in for lithium ion. And if you are in a remote village where the maintenance and battery and trained manpower is not available, and you want your total life cycle cost to be low, you can go in for a lithium ion, because the life cycle of a lithium ion can be 3,000, 4,000 cycles, whereas for a lead acid, it could be something like 1,500 cycles. So you can have at least double the life of lithium ion, depending on the usage, of course. So that is in a remote area where life cycle needs to be high, where maintenance people are not available, trained manpower is not available, you use lithium ion. For example, now you are in a hospital condition. Now, a hospital wants that the power has gone off, you want to discharge fast, and when the power comes back, you want immediately battery to recharge. And how do you do that? You do it with a lithium ion battery, because it can charge in 1 hour. And if your inverter has the juice, and if your PV or grid or DG is supplying enough power, then you can charge it extremely fast. And so the next cycle, when the power goes off, you can still use battery power. So it's all about how you optimally design your system to achieve the maximum economic sense. And you also need to, on my theme of design optimization, I would also like to highlight that battery efficiency and self-consumption of an inverter is of huge importance. So you better select the best components that are available, because ideal consumption of an inverter, standard inverter, for, again, I'm talking about 50 kilowatt load and 50 kilowatt of hybrid solar power plant, a standard inverter would be about 900 watts, almost a kilowatt. Whereas a good inverter, a good hybrid solar power plant, well designed, will have only 63 watts of losses. And this can, in total life cycle, I'm not even considering 25 years, which is the normal life cycle of a solar power plant. For 15 years, you could be, saving or losing, depending what kind of system you use, is about $14,000, 10 lakh of rupees. This is the amount just by selecting the right components. This is the amount of money you can save. So you need to really design your system for economical sense. It is not only that I will buy any hybrid and install it. You need to actually devote time, effort, and knowledge into it. So, what you put into the hybrid system is what you get out of it. You put in a lot of effort into it, you get a lot of economic sense out of it. And I would also like to emphasize here, safety of the people. That is of paramount. I'm sure everybody will agree with me that there's nothing more important than saving lives. While we are enabling lives, enabling livelihood of people by giving them a hybrid solar power plant, but it is also important that when somebody is maintaining it, somebody is coming up near it, untrained people, children are coming near it, then it should be safe. And 48 volts is, world over recognized as being the safe voltage. And I would recommend that to everybody. In my house, in my office, in my factory, we only use 48 volts because we want everybody to be safe. This is another aspect of it. This is not economic, but this is much more than economic. Economic is for people and safety is for people. So we are also talking about whatever system you design, whatever system you buy must be modular, scalable, and flexible. And I will explain these as we go along. Now, just a second. So a standard inverter, the maximum battery on a 6 kilowatt, as I've shown here, this is selecting a 6 kilowatt inverter. The maximum battery you can attach to it as per the manufacturer is a 400 Ah. But what if your requirement of battery backup goes up? As Ajay rightly said, first you observe, then you calculate, and then you reinvest into the batteries. So once you have decided you want bigger battery, now if you buy a standard plant, then you will not be able to add battery to it. But any good solar power plant, you will be able to add as much as 10,000 Ah, which is way more than what you require. Similarly, the PV, if you have a huge battery, then you need a huge PV plant to connect to it, to extract the maximum mileage, maximum economics to it. So you can only attach 5 or 6 kilowatt to a standard inverter. But whereas to a good inverter, you can go up to 72 kilowatt. So which is an amazing amount of scalability. And how is it achieved? It is achieved by just adding more modules. It's as simple as that. What you have, you just replicate that. And that is what the beauty of the system is. So then if we talk about flexibility, so why are we talking about only battery? See, your solar hybrid power plant must be actually a hybrid, which can, you can co-opt your diesel generator, biogas, grid power supply, wind power supply, everything. It should be compatible to everything. And today the technology is absolutely available to do it. That is the beauty of it. And this point has already been covered by other speakers, that the DG has to run at maximum 70%, 30% has to come from DG. Solar will run at 70% and DG at 30%. So I will not take time here. These are some of what Schneider has done. Kenti Island, Myanmar. It's a nanogrid, it's a battery-based system, and now they have achieved 24-hour electricity to this, community. And that is an amazing thing. Empowering a community from 4 hours to 24-hour power is amazing. Then you have in Nigeria 13 hospitals, which is such a critical application. You cannot, let the power go off for more than a few milliseconds. And that is what you achieve by using a good system. In Nigeria, it has been done in 13 hospitals very successfully. And these are more details can be given to you if you desire. Again, in Nigeria, there are 145 homes and businesses have been, powered by Schneider. That is. Now, in summary, what I'm saying is a solar power plant, hybrid solar power plant, power output can be modular from 6 kilowatt to 72 kilowatt, from 1 hour backup to 10-hour backup, from 3.5 kilowatt peak solar PV module to 225 kilowatt peak solar PV modules. That is how modular, flexible, and scalable these systems today are. As Ajay said, the technology is already there. The future is here. One of the terms that everybody's talking about nowadays is about IIoT, Industry 4.2. Now, most of the better manufacturers are already giving you that. And what does it translate for the end user? Remote management. You don't have to wait for the service engineer to come to do the system setting, firmware update. You don't need to do that. All you can do is give it an internet connection to the person and we will do it. Your system setting, firmware and diagnosing, changing anything can be done remotely, which is saving time, and it again translates to more power to people. And on scalability, I would just like to add one more point, that you can segregate your load into emergency loads and non-emergency loads, like most of the time they do in hospitals. And emergency loads can be put in hybrid, solar power plant, and the other ones may not be powered by that. So you can actually start small and then keep on building onto it. Eventually, you can take up the non-emergency loads also. And well, that's about all I have to say on this topic right now. And I thank everybody, and especially ISA. So let's all save money, save earth, and save environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaul. Thank you for that beautiful message in the end. Ticking environmental and economical, both columns, that is where the virtuosity of solar lies. You rightly said that. Thank you very much for your presentation and highlighting why PV-DG hybrids should be adopted. And we join you in expecting that we need to gain momentum for the kind of benefits this hybrid system has to offer. Efforts like today's dialogue are aimed at creating just that. Thank you, sir, for joining us and for your time. With this, we move to our country intervention segment. I request dignitaries present in the meeting to kindly raise their hands by clicking on the raise your hand icon on your screens, and you will be able to make your intervention. First, I will be calling out names of the countries for which we have the national focal points participating, and then we will move on to the contact points and other honorable dignitaries present in the meeting. Allow me a minute, please. I request all the participants to kindly, who want to intervene, may kindly raise their hands, and then I can call out the names. Sure. I request the IT team to kindly upgrade the attendees to the panelists, please. I can see the hand raised, but I can't see it in the panelist list.
Dr. Megha, Excellency Ganju wants to raise
Sure,
any question.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon to everybody, especially to Dr. Mathur, DG ISA, and other panelists. You see, I have been listening to all the presentations very carefully, but they are so technical that it is not very easy for a non-technical people to understand all that. However, having said that, everybody has discussed the pros and cons of the new technology, which is very recent one, the hybrid technology, but nobody has yet mentioned the cost of it per megawatt or maybe per kilowatt or maybe whatever DG hybrid DG sets are available today. And if an island country which I represent in India, the Union of Comoros, is generating about 98% energy through DG sets only. So what would be the cost to convert those DG sets into the hybrid DG sets to have a 24/7 energy in the country? So this question is to the ISA and plus also to all the participants, if at all anybody can, mention and give the reply which can be taken into and forwarded to the government in Comoros. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Rajiv ji, do we have any other requests? Because on my screen I cannot see the hands raised in the panelists.
Can I have a small suggestion? I'm Dr. Gomadranagam, former DG Nive.
Sir.
We are now in urban areas, we are increasing in a lot of multi-story buildings where the lift operation is essentially by DG set in case of a power cut. But most of the areas, I have a feeling is hybrid. Some showcasing has to be done. What will be the cost implication for the facility management system agencies? I think one occasion, because I am living in a 29-story apartment, where DG sets are being used and very low loads. And I think some case study or some showcasing can be done to give a cost economics so that the facility managers can use it effectively. It will be a big business, yes.
Thank you very much for your intervention, sir. Any of the experts would like to add anything?
Megha, let Mr. Gomtinayam talk bilaterally with the presenter because this was not there included in the presentation. So let them talk bilaterally. I would request if you can call the dignitaries by the country's name.
Sure.
For example, we have a representative from Mauritius. If he can intervene, if he desires to intervene. Guinea. Saudi Arabia. Togo. So the contact points are.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Albert.
Do you hearing me? This is Albert from Guinea.
Please
Yes,
carry.
Excellency. Please carry on.
Okay. Thank you so much to Isa for this SunMeet. It was a critical time for us because the meeting starts at 5 a.m. in our country. Just now it is 7, but we are very interested by this different topic that you share with us. The PV hybridization with DG you know, I am at home. Okay. Now I said this is a very important topic, and we would like to repeat this training for us. Even we would like also to have support for this topic, and we will repeat the training for our people here, because it's not very easy for all of us to wake up at 5 and to follow the training from 5 to 7 a.m. Thank you so much. We are very happy for this training, and we are happy also about ISA and all the different program for solarization. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
We have Excellency. If somebody wants to speak.
I just, wanted to add, sir, I think on this commercial part, Dineshji has given a very beautiful presentation. So I think Dineshji can address, the questions that sir has, Mr. Ganju has been asking and Mr. Gomti has been asking. I think that DG's set for a hybrid solution for the lift, I think it is a very, very important and application, and we get a lot of requests for this application. So the only challenge here, Mr. Gomath, is many of the locations and high-rise buildings, they don't have the space for solar on their rooftop. So that is, and sometimes, we also find that it is not suitable for the shadow-free area. They may have a space, but the shadow-free area is not there. You have got, some kind of, that buildings going to the top, or maybe some water tanks are there. So you don't have a clear-cut space where you can, address the solar. Answering your question, another solution is the hybrid system that we discussed about with the battery source system. In case solar is not there, you have a hybrid solution with battery. So that battery system can take care of this load. But the only thing, when we talk about this lift application is two things have to be taken into consideration. The rating of the lift and for how much time you want the backup duration. So it is something, only in case of emergency that you want to use it, for maybe suppose there is a power cut of 1 hour or 2 hours. So you want to have backup for that. So accordingly, system need to be designed. And Dinesh is expert on, in designing these kind of, applications, because he's a hardcore technical man, and he has been, doing it for many years. And on the cost side also, I think was Mr. Ganju was asking, what is the cost of getting these systems in different models, whether it is with DG or with storage. So I would request Dinesh, just if you can share insight, a typical indication of these figures, on the commercial side. So that's, and Dinesh, over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Vikasji. Mr. Ganju, you're absolutely right. We need to have an estimate also. I did have some in my presentation. I did have some calculation on the prices also, but because of paucity of time, I could not really devote much time to that slide. The problem is that unless we know how much of battery backup does the client need, we cannot give a firm estimate. So between the cost of the system is primarily devoted to the battery and the PV. These are the two main components. And more battery you have, the more PV you require. Though there can be a hybrid system without even the PV, like Mr. Gomithan Ji requires. So it can have a system like that. But I would say two things. First is, if you need to calculate what is my starting of viability of ROI, if you have 2 hours of DG running, and you're saying about 98% running on DG, so which is like, wow, it desperately needs a immediate intervention and running it on a hybrid solar power plant, and it will run beautifully. So if it is 2 hours, you can be sure that your ROI will start looking up. Maybe not in 5 years or 6 years, maybe in 7 years, but then you're also saving the earth. And also all of these calculations are on the base of today's cost of diesel. Every year, the diesel cost is going up by, let's say, approximately 10%. So you are going to save more in the future. So as per calculation, we'll only see what is the ROI today, which should be typically for 2 hours, it will be around 5-6 years. For 4 hours, it could be about 3.5 years. So it actually makes a lot of sense. If 98% DG is using, somebody is using, they should immediately plan a. And second part is that if you really need an estimate, I would say it is about 80-90 rupees per watt to about 250-300 rupees per watt, depending on what battery backup are you planning for. That is essentially. And how well the system is designed. There are what is the total cost of operation? Because if you do not calculate the total DC losses, if things are not properly synchronized, if the batteries are not being equally charged, then within a very short period of time, your system efficiency will keep on dropping and your ROI will get elongated. But nevertheless, at 98%, sir, I would say it is a prime case. And costing on an average, if you say, let's say 2 hours, 3 hours, backup, you can take at 120 rupees per watt. And I'm talking about lithium-ion batteries. Today, lithium-ion, as everybody has pointed out, the prices are going down every single day. And the technology of synchronizing, as Mr. Arya will vouch for it, is absolutely done for. It is not even worth discussing, thinking about. It will happen like this. You take any Jackson DG and put in a hybrid solar power plant, put in a controller, and it's done. Not an issue at all. So
Thank you very much for that. So one thing more I want to add to my question is that after the capital investment is made, what is the running cost of it? What is the maintenance cost of it, I mean to say?
So maintenance cost is very, very negligible. So with lithium ion, so with lead acid batteries, you can be sure that you will have to more or less replace them in 5 years. The 5-year warranty is there. Most of the manufacturers give batteries which are 5-year warranted in lead acid. And if you use them for 5 years or maybe 5.5 years, 6 years at the best case, you'll have to replace them. So the repeat cost is of the battery. So until unless I know what batteries you're using, or you know what batteries you're using, what is the capacity of batteries, you cannot calculate the cost. But if you use lithium ion, which has double the life cycle, so you are assured more or less of about 10 years of non-replacement. And you would have got your money back in about 5 years, 6 years. So you will have enough savings. So your next cycle of replacing battery will come from your savings and not from your investment. So it is only a capex issue. And if there are some good cases, there are enough financiers available in the market who will sell you power, as Dr. Mathur was saying, that business models are available where people are selling you hybrid power also. But only thing is they want surety of the investment. If that can be ensured by agencies like ISA, I think it is not, even with Schneider, we are doing some bidding for some projects where we are bidding on per watt basis, per power generated basis. And that is the way to go forward. That is how it will happen. And I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your name correctly, Mr. Gomithan ji, but your point was about lifts and urbanization. Now, if you look at a place like California, which is primarily urban with some rural areas also, there are fires every year, every single year. And what happens is that power gets shut down. Now, if you have a distributed power generation, like hybrid solar power plants, then it doesn't affect the power system. So consumers become producers also. And that is the future. You will see it will happen in India, it will happen everywhere, that it will be multiple generation sources. Centralized will get into decentralized and the costs will go down. So if we have, even in urban areas, it makes all the sense to have a backup power. If you're running DGs more than 2 hours, I think it absolutely makes a case for hybrid solar power plant.
Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Gyani sir, do we have any other country interventions or should we conclude this section?
We have Your Excellencies, Excellency from Dominica Republic. Okay. If you want to intervene, Excellency David Pugh. We also have Excellency Desh Sahaji from Tonga. Mr. Arshi from Kiribati. Mr. Suleiman from Niger Embassy. Excellency Kondimani from Togo, and also we have National Focal Point of Togo, Mr. Robil Nasoma.
Yeah, good morning. I have nothing to say.
Yes, welcome, NFP Togo. Mega, carry on.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much, Excellencies. And with this, we conclude our country intervention segment. Moving forward, I would now request Ms. Fiona Byrne, Director Governance and Innovation, International Solar Alliance, to please present the vote of thanks to our esteemed guest. Over to Ms. Byrne, please.
Thank you, Mega. Your Excellencies, Director General, esteemed speakers, and distinguished guests. Thank you very much for attending today's SunMeet on the solarization of diesel gensets. I'm sure that this will be the first of many conversations we have with you on this topic. This will be a key area of focus for us over the next few years, and one that we are sure will make a significant impact on energy access and security for our members. I'd like to thank our distinguished speakers for their presentations and time today, setting out the case for the solarization of gensets. We are very appreciative of their technical expertise and their presentations shared with us. We look forward to discussing this issue with you further and taking this very important initiative forward. In light of the terrible COVID pandemic, we'd like to wish you all the best, and please stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you very much for your attendance, and we look forward to our next interaction with you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, sir. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you very much. Special thanks to DG sir.
Yes.
Special thanks to DG sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us with this.
Ganji sir, as always, many thanks to you. I want to thank everybody who came in.
God bless you,
As
sir.
Fiona mentioned, this is the start of discussions, and I
Yes.
look forward to putting these into a package that would be desirable and acceptable to
Thank you very much.
all our member countries.
Thank you very
sir.
much. We are waiting for that day to come.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much from
Thank you, everyone.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Just to add to what Excellency DG sir has said, the embassies or the High Commission or consulate can convey to their respective countries that recording will be available, so that if they have missed this occasion, they can go through the recording in the website to understand it better. Thank you very much. We are available.
The recordings would be, the recordings would be in English, so therefore for the French speaking it will be difficult to understand. Anyway, nevertheless, I will write a note and send it to them in another 2-3 days, because our offices are closed because of the lockdown. So Monday, if at all by the grace of Almighty, the office is open, then I'll send a full report of today's meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency.